What's going on, Joe fans? Centex Collector here with another review for G.I. Joe Classified. This time for Desert Scorpion, figure 180. Probably one of my favorite figures throughout the whole vintage ARA line. I don't think I'm gonna like this Scorpion, but we'll see. I don't see any Easter eggs here, just some desert scorpions in the desert. Got this off of Hasbro because I was trying to get it off Amazon, disappeared. Got it off Hasbro. Is in the packaging, in the plastic. Yeah, this is looking good. Little insert here. So let me go ahead and crack this all out. So here he is with the OG from 91. Looking pretty good. We'll get him in. We'll get into the similarities and differences. But yeah, I'm digging that so far. And then the Scorpions, he's got a tail that would just pop on here. And as I figured, the Scorpion, I mean, he looks cool, but he's just ridiculously oversized. Because here is the original ARA 118th. Obviously much more detailed, but you get the general gist of that. And then I bought because I have a custom Desert Scorpion. Here's one I got off of eBay. So like this is 1/12 scale. So I think they just went a little nuts with this one. So if I do buy any more Desert Scorpions, I'll end up just selling this big old Scorpion off because I don't need a bunch of those on my shelf. And I mentioned the custom. Here's the custom that I got. This is probably one that I bought like 3 customs at the same time. So whoever made this, I got it off Macari. He did a really good job of it. I mean, this is before this is probably like, man, I've had this for a few years now. I probably bought this between 2021, 22, 2020, 2021, 22. Early on in the Classified line, so he was probably using like Marvel Legends parts before we really had fodder to make really good customs. So this guy did a really good job. Almost even Hasbro could have took from this, because this is very accurate to the ARA. But I'll probably end up giving that to Ben here, one of my loyal followers on TikTok. So if we get back to the Scorpion here, we've got claws. So they articulated the heck out of this Scorpion. So he's got articulated opening claws, almost like crab claws. So those are ridiculously big. They swivel. You got articulation here. I mean, this thing probably has more articulation than a McFarlane DC Multiverse figure.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
I see we've got movement here on the front legs. Really good detail. And then each one of these little legs, he's got 4 legs on each side of his body. They all got a little bit of rotation articulation. And then the tails, you saw where you pop the tail on. You've got movement there. And then each segment of the tail has movements. And then the tip of the tail, so you can almost get it, get straight like, but then it's got full, oh crap. So that obviously looks like that will actually, it'll pop right back on, but you get a full rotation out of the tail to move the tail however you want. So that's crazy. So just be careful with this right arm. These arms, I think some people actually came in broke or busted. So, oh, and then you got, did I show that right? I think I did. Within the claws, you got rotation there on the claws. So crazy articulation on Scorpion. Just be careful with this right arm. Accessories themselves, so just like the original, we've got these like claws. So the OG had these little claws. So you can see we've come a long way with design. So there's the claws from the OG. What else we got going on here? So he's got 2 knives. They're the same. Yes, we got 2 knives here. So we've got one knife that's gonna go behind his back. And oh, okay, he doesn't have a pistol, so he's got a knife that's gonna go right there. And then they gave him this big old spear. Which I think there's 2 versions of those Desert Scorpion. You had your 91, and then in like 2013 or so, they did a Collector's Club exclusive. So there's only 2 Desert Scorpions ever made. So there's that thing. And then we've got this face. They made a face kind of like they did with Zartan. So you just pop a face on. So it looks like you probably pop this mask off. Yes, you can pop the face on. So that's something I won't be needing. I like my masked characters. The whole thing with Cobra and army building. This, they actually put rope. I don't know if that's new, if I've noticed that, but this has rope on it. But this is from Alley Viper. So I don't know if that's a new edition with the rope. But this is from Alley Viper. And this is from Alley Viper as well. Which they changed it because the original backpack. So what they did is they, looks like that's probably where the spear goes here. The original backpack, there's the hose here to his head, so I gotta check that because there's a hose here. But on the original, you had like the weapons. They just made the weapon or whatever this is here. They made an update, and then they had a missile. And they got rid of the missile. So, and they changed the look of the backpack. I mean, it's similar. It's got the same like kind of look. So they changed that up from the original, for better or for worse, I guess. Got like a little handle right there. And then, yeah, I'm assuming that's just gonna be able to plug right there. But this is also an Alley Viper weapon. I mean, cool little submachine gun. Mag comes out there. But that's reused from Alley Viper. And then this is going to be able to, yes, this is really bendy, foldable, whatever you want to call it there. These almost look like binoculars, but that's going to rotate. That's interesting. But where is... Okay, now I'm confused because it gave us... Okay, so he's got a port here. He's got a plug-in port there. Okay, then on the top, so you've got... Plug this in. I'm not a big fan of, and then this is going to plug in there. Because the original just had it out the back like Dusty. Had it out the back of the helmet. And now this time they gave him like a full like cape, for better or for worse. So I don't know how I feel about that. But, and then here's that. I'm not sure the point of the hose connecting to that. I don't know if it's to breathe the dust. Yeah, I don't know. But apparently, I never read or realized as a kid, the Desert Scorpion, basically if you acted up in the Viper Corps, then they knocked you down to a Desert Scorpion basically as a Scorpion as punishment. And then if you did good service, then you could get bumped back into, you know, whether regular Viper Corps or any of the specialty Vipers. And then if you got in trouble again, then you got knocked down to Toxo Viper. So that was pretty cool. Read that off of, I think it was his file card or something. I never knew that history. And he was big on the DIC cartoons in '91. Obviously, Sunbow was long gone. So let's take a look compared to the vintage. So changed up the boots there. They gave him like these shin guard things, I guess, to replace. That's kind of dated. And then, yeah, he's got a knife there. So, yeah, they replicated that on the right leg with the knife. And then on the left leg, replicated that little padding or whatever. And then he didn't have a knife, so this was extra. This knife around the back. Black pants. I do like how they made the waist piece black instead of doing the bright color there. They just subdued it here. So that's a nice just subduing it here, giving them black here instead of doing all this bright color. I mean, I kind of like it, but it's kind of cool to kind of subdue it. Because 91 was kind of like the last, 91, 92 was like the last good years. Because 91, you had Desert Scorpion, Crimson, Immortal Guard, which we need. Or Immortal Crimson Guard, whatever you want to call it. But he was awesome. Dusty version 3. So there were some good figures in 91. And then 92, 93 just kind of went haywire with neon stuff. So I think I was done by 93. So the gloves are similar. They kept like this little pattern from here and just made the gauntlets a little different there. But they brought it over. And then they gave him a full-blown belt. And then the chest harness they kept intact. Yeah, they added the bullets right here. Up to the grenades here. And then this like chest piece looks kind of like a football pads underneath there. They kept the Cobra logo on the right arm. Gave him a little darker skin tone. Probably from being out in the desert, you're going to get tanned or whatever, or if they were trying to make them like Persian or Middle Eastern or whatever the concept, if they got away from them being rejects. Oh, okay, I see. So he does have this here, just like the original. The cape is separate. Yeah, so you can actually take this cape off, you know, like if you want to put the backpack on. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. So that's, you know, yeah, Hasbro's getting better with the cloth goods. Is this a hoodie? Yeah, it looks like you could, if you put like the regular face on, you could make that into a hoodie potentially. But yeah, he's got the, okay, so I totally didn't see this. They did keep that. I knew they would have, that was like kind of his thing. So yeah, they did keep that intact there. And then you could take this cape thing off. It's cool. I like it if you don't have the backpack, but if you have the backpack, yeah, you definitely want to take that off. So that's cool. And then go to the back. You got the same. Like I said, they just updated, I do like how this has like this leather look on the chest piece, so modern technology really looks good. So yeah, I do like how they subdued all the bright colors, and then the mask, they gave him the same thing here on the right side of his helmet and updated it. Again, subdued the bright colors, gave him like a visor with the goggles, and then like the face mask, they made this more like almost like an airsoft type looking face mask, but they kept that with the top of the helmet looking very similar. Again, the side of the helmet where the hose went, they kept intact. And then the back of the helmet's got that like the original, and again, kind of made more of like a sandy color. See, they did a good job of, yeah, I'm not mad at this. I like how they subdued the bright colors. You can still see the OG in there. Because like I said, this year started like 91. You were starting to get into those bright colors, but they didn't go haywire like they do 92, 93. So I ain't mad at it. And then just another quick look at the custom. Like I said, whoever did this custom, I don't know. I'd have to look on Macari. But like I said, this one's got to be a few years old now. We're in 2025, so I've had this custom at least 3 years. So like you say here, he glued on that stuff, and back then a lot of stuff they just had to glue on because they didn't have the kit bash fodder from Classified quite yet, so they were using Marvel Legends. He did this all backwards though, but that's cool. However, he like, I don't know if he designed, I don't think he 3D printed this stuff either. A lot of stuff looks like he molded himself with that putty or whatever. So like this backpack, I mean, it's just crazy how he made this. This is really legit of the guy whoever made this. I got off Macari. Like, so I got this Hydra Viper, and I forgot the other custom I got, but I got like 3 customs for dirt cheap. I think like $90, so basically $30 a custom. So I'm gonna pass this on probably to Benny, one of my followers on TikTok. But this is a legit custom on my shelf until we, you know, like I said, I don't know how he made it. I mean, the guys who can do stuff like this with the putty, it's just amazing. So yeah, but like I said, I love how Lenny and team is jumping all over the place. They're not just sticking like certain years. I mean, this is a 91 figure, so they're jumping around. They're not sticking to particular times. We got Zania coming. I mean, they're jumping everywhere from, you know, the vintage of like 82 to 94, jumping in Valor versus Venom, jumping to 25th anniversary. I enjoy how they're just jumping around and creating these various figures. I mean, we got Ninja Force Zartan. Not that anybody really wants it, but they're bringing him. He was like a 93 figure. So I'm all in. I hope we can get another good 5 years at least out of Classified. So here we are. Desert Scorpion. It's a little too pricey probably to troop build, but like I said, if I get another one, I'm definitely going to get rid of the Scorpion, you know, and get some money back. But I really just want that. I didn't need all the no, this is what's adding to the price. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe. JJ out.